I got a question for you. How many of you are from small towns? So you know how it is when you're growing up in a small town and there's like never anything to do, right? You're like so bored. Yeah. And so you end up doing something really stupid, right? This has happened to you. So a couple years ago, it's Friday night. I'm with 3 of my friends, and we are sneaking up behind. Can we get a wider shot so show my sneaking? I want people to see. Yeah, look at this. Sneaking. This is how I sneak, like an ostrich, okay? Behind a cow to try to tip it over, okay? Yeah, don't worry, FFA. No cows were injured during the creation of this story, okay? And we get about 10 feet away, and I guess it like hears us coming or something, and it wakes up and like turns towards us, all right? And now the first thing that goes through my head, I'm like, why does this cow have horns? Yeah. And I know what some of you are thinking right now. You're very scared. You're like, this is a really sad story. This guy only has 1 leg. This bull has like 4 times as many legs as he does. It's like he's in the Hunger Games, but he didn't get any weapons at the cornucopia. But if that is what you're thinking, my friends, let me inform you that I actually have some pretty impressive skills in combat. For example, my super pendulum kick, which I will demonstrate for you, okay? Imagine that thank you for cheering for it before you've even seen it. Maybe it's really lame. You're gonna be like, oh, geez, that was embarrassing. Can't believe I cheered for it, because it's actually, that was it right there. I'm just kidding. No, all right, imagine that there is a bovine adversary right here, okay? And I could just be like, whoosh. Thank you for the partial standing ovation for the kick. That's actually my whole speech. Kick, done, I'm out. But I'm thinking, well, really, super pendulum kick is pretty good, but it's probably not good enough to defeat a bull. So then I'm thinking maybe I should run away, but then I'm like, well, probably I cannot outrun a bull. But then I realized that I do not have to outrun the bull. I just need to outrun at least one of my 3 friends that I'm with. So anyway, we're standing, pretty close to this bull, and all this happened, in 0.0 seconds. It turned towards us, and it was it had these red glowing eyes in the moonlight. And I swear to you, I have never been that scared in my entire life. And I was just like, oh my gosh, it's a bull! Run away! Run away! Again. I get to the edge of the field, I look around, I beat all 3 of my 2-legged friends. Boomtown! Now, I share that story with you because I think it's kind of a lot the way that life is. Because, in life, you set out to do this thing, right? You ignite, right, about this thing. You're like, man, it's going to be awesome. I'm going to, tip over a cow. Or you're like, I'm going to win my, parliamentary procedure contest. I'm going to run for office at the state level or my chapter level. Some of you guys just hit puberty. You're like, man, I'm going to grow a Duck Dynasty beard. It's going to be amazing. Set out to do this thing. You're walking along through the field. Everything is going great. And then all of a sudden, there's a bull standing 20 feet away from you. And I don't know what that bull is for you, right? Maybe you lost your competition here this week. Maybe you lost an election. Maybe for some of you who are trying to grow that beard, all you're getting is this like really awkward, sort of creepy neck beard going on. It's like, guys, I gotta tell you, like no one in your chapter wanted to say anything, but they wanted me to tell you, please shave it, it's grossing them out. I don't know what the problem is, the bull in your life, right? Maybe you're not getting along with your parents. Maybe your parents aren't getting along with each other. Maybe you're having financial problems in your household. I don't know, but I do know this. Everyone say tough. Life, my friends, life is tough. And what I want to talk to you about in the next few minutes is how do we respond to the tough things that happen to us in our lives. See, that's the story of life, right? You get ignited about something and then something happens. Like that's what happened to me when I was a kid, back when I was 9 years old. I had 2 legs. I loved to play soccer. Any soccer players? So I loved to play soccer, and I remember I saw this kid named Aaron that I knew, and he was wearing this lime green travel soccer team uniform, and I was like, oh, that is amazing. I am ignited. I've got to have this, right? And so I got so excited, but I never got that uniform because a bull appeared in front of me. See, that's the story of life. So the question then is, what do we do when these things happen to us? Now, I want to give you a perfect example of what I mean by this, a little story for you, a true story, something that happened to me in my life. Well, first of all, where's my North Carolina people? Are you guys right here? Sweet, I want to have a little chat with North Carolina. It's good to see you guys again. I spoke at North Carolina's convention, what was it, like 4 months ago, right? So good to see you, we're friends. So you guys know this story already, but so there was this girl, my junior year of high school, who I had this like big crush on. And I want to tell you the story about her, but I want to protect her privacy, okay? So what I need to do is, I need from you, North Carolina, can you give me a fictitious first name for a hot 16-year-old girl? Sheila, I love it. Sheila is great. Sheila, okay, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna make her last name Itinji. And you might wonder why, because it's Ignite spelled backwards. Boomtown. Yeah. So Sheila Itinji, right? She's in my math class. I had this huge crush on her. I'm like, oh man, like I should ask her out. But I'm so scared to talk to her. Like every time I try to talk to her, it's just like total nervousness, total like gibberishness comes out of my mouth. I'm always like, Sheila, wibbly wobbly, timey wimey, like it just doesn't like make sense at all, okay? So the whole year goes by like this, right? And oh, can we get a feed from this camera? Oh, this is awesome. My girlfriend's in the audience. Question, babe, when we kiss, does it look like this? Because that looked good, right? Yeah, definitely. Not at all. So finally it comes down, and it's the last day of school before summer, right? And I see Sheila Itinji. She's like cleaning out her locker, getting ready to go home for the summer. So I walk over to her, okay? And here is something that you need to know. Upper balcony, back area, upper balcony over here. Some important facts for you, all right? 4 people, you can know this too. All right, I go up to her, and as I'm walking with my artificial leg, and when I walk with my artificial leg, I have a slight limp. So basically, I have a natural pimp walk. Yeah. Thank you. So I walk over to her, and I drop, this is, for those of you who are having trouble in love, you'll want to write this one down. This is the greatest pickup line of all time. I was like, Sheila, we should hang out sometime. Yeah. Let me tell you, hold on, let me tell you, some of you aren't convinced. I see the band, they're sitting over there with their instruments. They're like, I'm not convinced. They're holding their instruments. Nah, I don't think so. All right, let me tell you, band, okay? Because a lot of times people try to ask someone out by saying something like, oh, can I have your number? Will you go out with me? But the problem with these things, my friends in the band, is that they are yes or no questions. And you do not ever want to ask someone a yes or no question, because if you do that, they can say, no, right? And then you're rejected and you fall down in the fetal position. I fell on the camera. Lower, lower, here I am. Okay, thank you. I fall, and you just curl up and you just cry yourself to sleep for 9 months, all right? So you do not want to be in that situation. What you want to do is just say we should hang out sometime, because that, my friends, is an opinion statement, right? My opinion is that we should hang out sometime. And no one can disagree with your opinion, because that is very rude, all right? Seriously, it works. It's awesome. So remember that, we should hang out sometime.com. So I take her out about a week later to play golf, because where I'm from in Harrisonburg, Virginia, where's Virginia? Right here, okay. Where I'm from in Virginia, there's a free par 3 golf course. Awesome. So I hit this brilliant shot off the 6th tee of the course, soars through the air in a perfect arc, comes down, stops a few feet away from the hole. Now, I am so excited about this shot, right? Because I'm like, oh man, this is amazing. She's gonna be so impressed. She's totally gonna wanna make out with me now. Like Boomtown, right? Okay, and so I'm all excited. And now here's something that you need to know. People in that whole back area, what's up? Just want to make sure you're still with me. Back area, I want you to know this. I was wearing my artificial leg at the time, so just imagine artificial leg right here, okay? Now, something you should know, people over here, let me hear you. Something you should know about artificial limbs is that they come pre-programmed to malfunction at the worst possible moments in your life. So a slow motion demonstration of what happened. I was like, yes, yeah, oh. It was like the Matrix. I was like, oh, and I fall down on the ground, okay? And I'm good work getting me in the camera shot this time. I'm glad I didn't fall out of it. And and it's very awkward, right? Because no one ever knows, what do you do when the guy with one leg falls down? Awkward. Are you allowed to laugh at him? Should you help him up? No one knows. So I stand up, and my problem has gone from bad to much worse, because I look down, and the foot on my artificial leg has literally turned around the wrong way. So you can imagine the other golfers on the course are looking at me like, yeah, 911, we have a serious golfing emergency to report to you. And so I walk to the edge of the course, which, by the way, not easy to do, okay, when one foot is facing this way and the other foot is facing this way. So I'm walking. You hold this. Hold this here. And I take my artificial leg and I start kicking it against a tree to try to get the foot popped back into place. Got it? So I'm just kicking this thing. I hope that didn't break. At that point, you can imagine the other golfers are looking at me like, yeah, it looks like Chuck Norris over here has some serious anger management issues. But I'll never forget this one moment right after I fell over and I was laying on the ground, because here's the thing, that's not the first time in my life that I had fallen over. I was homeschooled until my freshman year of high school. First day of high school, yes, homeschooling. First day of homeschool of freshman high school, public school, I was wearing my artificial leg. I was super scared that anyone would find out that I was an amputee. So I was walking down the hallway, and of course I had a limp, but I hadn't turned it into a pimp walk at that point in my life, and so I was very afraid, and I walked down the hallway. This guy, he sees me limping. As I walk by him, he sticks his foot out and he throws me down on the ground. Yeah. So if you've ever felt bullied, if you've ever felt left out, if you've ever felt like you were different, I know how that feels. So what did I do? I did the only thing I could do. I picked up my books and I kept walking. And that's exactly what I did on that golf course. I got up. I tried to get the foot sort of popped back into place, and then I played that next hole of golf. Because here's the thing, there is no question that each and every day of our lives, there are going to be bulls that pop up in front of us. There are going to be bullies that throw us down. There are going to be golf courses that we fall over on. There's no question about that. The only question is not, will you fall down? It is, how fast will you get back up? See, we always have a choice. I'll give you an example. People here from all over America. Let me ask you a question. From wherever you are from, is the food at the movie theaters ridiculously expensive? Yes or no? How many of you are like me, and when you go to the movies, you like to save money by smuggling snack items in your pockets? So I'm at this movie theater with some of my friends. We're pulling out some little like candy items that we bought to put in our pockets. And one of my friends pulls out of his bag a 2-liter of Coca-Cola Classic. And I'm like, really, dude? Look at my pockets. Like, what are you thinking? But fortunately, up here in this balcony, what's up? How are you guys doing? Fortunately, this balcony right here, I'm a quick thinker. So what did I do? He was wearing sweatpants. I was wearing shorts. So we switched. I put on his sweatpants. And then I took the 2-liter and I put it inside of the left pant leg. And then I tied a knot underneath so it hung there and looked like my leg was cut off from down here. So I walk into the movie theater thinking this is like the greatest idea of all time. I'm like, yeah, awesome. And then I look down and the 2-liter is just swinging all around. It's like knocking over small children. I stop for the girl to like tear my ticket. The 2-liter does not stop. It just keeps swinging like a pendulum. Kind of like the canvas that speed painter had the other day, just spinning and spinning. Except that when it stopped spinning, people weren't like, oh snap, that's a bald eagle. People were like, oh snap, that is a very suspicious looking amputee. And sure enough, out of the corner of my eye, I see a security guard standing there looking at me, right? But let's be honest with ourselves. Like, what is he going to say? Sir, I noticed that there is a problem with your leg. You are correct. It appears that I do not have one, but we should hang out sometime. Now, I share that story with you because it is a true story, an example of how my disability has allowed me to smuggle a 2-liter into a movie theater. But that makes a serious point because I think that is a small picture of my entire life. Here's what I mean. It's because of my disability that I've gotten to do so many things I would have never even imagined back when I had 2 legs. For example, it's because of my disability that I had the chance to write a book about my life called Just Don't Fall, which became a national bestseller. It's because of, thank you. It's because of my disability that I get to do this. This is my job. Like people like go to my website and request me to speak, and I come and I get to speak at like conventions and schools and business groups. It's the best job in the world. I get to do this because of my disability. And thirdly, as an example, a couple years ago, I made a video on YouTube called The Amputee Rap. The Amputee Rap, it blew up on YouTube, and through that, I've built a YouTube audience. I now make a video every Tuesday. I have like hundreds of videos and like almost 20 million views on YouTube. None of that would have happened if it weren't for my disability. Now, why do I say this? Because we all have some sort of disability. Now, yours, it might not be as obvious as mine is. It might be something that nobody else even knows about. But we all have that thing that makes us different, that makes us feel like we're not enough. But see, here's what I've learned from my life, is that sometimes you can take that thing, that problem, that limp, if you will, and you can turn your limp into a pimp walk, right? You can take that thing, you can learn something from it, you can allow it to make you stronger as a person, and you can use that knowledge, you can use that strength to serve your community, to reach for your goals, to be involved in igniting your local FFA chapter. That's what it means. See, I happen to believe that things happen for a reason, even though we don't always understand that reason during this lifetime. See, when I was a kid, literally the same week that I was going to try out for my first travel soccer team, I woke up from a biopsy. And many of you, I'm sure, have been under anesthesia at some point, but you're waking up, you're sort of groggy from the anesthesia. There's doctors and nurses running around. And I'll never forget, my mom and dad walked into the room. They stood on the left side of my bed. And my dad, he looked down at me and he said, "Joshua, the doctors found cancer in your leg. They told me that I had a 50% chance to live." Like I said, I was 9 years old. Lost my hair, started chemotherapy. I was on that for a few months. And then my parents told me that the chemo wasn't working and that my leg was going to be amputated to save my life. And when they told me that, it was like all I could think about was that lime green travel soccer team uniform and how I knew that I would never get to wear it. Have you ever lost a dream? I know how that feels. I remember the day of the operation, checking into the hospital with my mom, my dad. We sat down in this waiting room. I had been on crutches for about 3 months because I wasn't supposed to put weight on my leg because it was so fragile, right? It might break. So I sat down in this chair, I set my crutches down on that tile linoleum floor. I sat in between my mom and my dad. And I bent over and I wrapped my arms around my left leg. I just remember it was so quiet in that room. Eventually this doctor and a nurse came in. And the nurse was pushing an empty wheelchair. And the doctor, he said to me, we're ready to take you back now. And I remember I looked at that wheelchair And I looked at him and I said, I think I am going to walk. I'll never forget walking down that hospital corridor towards the operating room. If you've spent any time in the hospital, you know you always wear those sort of brown terry cloth socks. They have like the rubber strips on the bottom. And I remember I could feel that cool hospital tile linoleum floor underneath those brown terry cloth socks. And I knew that those would be the last steps that I would ever take with 2 legs. And a lot of you, if you're not there today, you've had that experience in your life, or you will soon, when it just feels like everything in your life is falling down around you. Everything is just falling apart. And when it does, I feel like the best we can hope for, the best we can pray for, is just the strength to stand and the courage to walk. I spent another 9 months on chemotherapy after that, get rid of the rest of the cancer or whatever, and so I was on chemo for a year. I spent 100 nights in the hospital over that year. But I finished the treatment, and my hair grew back. I learned how to ski. And a couple years after that, I started ski racing, as a matter of fact, when I was 16 years old. And the reason I got so excited about ski racing is because I heard that if you make the United States Paralympic ski team, you get a uniform. Yeah. And so I started training and racing, yeah. But I gotta tell you, oh yeah, you can see that's me skiing right there. Now, here's the thing. In that picture, it makes me look really good, right? It's like good balance, good angles, cool colors, number 67. I don't know what that means. But I want to tell you, I was not good like that when I started. I was terrible. Okay, like my first race, I fell 5 times. My first 8 international races, my best finish was second to last. And I tell you that because a lot of you are here at convention this week and you are getting excited. You're in all these speakers, you're seeing this motto, and you are getting ignited about something in your life. And I want to tell you that I got ignited about ski racing. And even though I wasn't that great at it when I started, I had a motto that I wrote on the tip of my skis. And my motto was 1MT, 1MT, which stands for one more thing, one more time. And that was my training motto, and that's what I did for 6 years until in 2006 I had the incredible opportunity to walk into the Olympic Stadium in Torino, Italy, in front of 30,000 people wearing a uniform, not the lime green soccer uniform I thought I wanted when I was a kid, but one that was even better. It was red and white and blue, and it said USA. See, I learned something that day. Sometimes the uniform that we get in life is better than the one that we thought we wanted. And the other thing I learned was this, walking into that stadium was, without a doubt, the most beautiful walk of my entire life. But remember, I told you before, I didn't start skiing until after I lost my leg. So if you think about it, right, because I couldn't play soccer anymore, I'd lost that dream. So if you think about it, listen carefully, the most beautiful walk of my entire life only happened because of the toughest walk of my entire life. 12 years before, on that tile aluminum floor in the hospital. Yeah. See, I've wished so many times, I don't know if you've ever thought about this, if you could go back in time to yourself, knowing what you know now 5 years, 10 years ago, and give yourself advice. I've thought so many times, if I could go back to that 9-year-old boy as he was walking back for his amputation in the hospital, I could walk alongside him and say, listen, I know right now it seems like your whole life is falling apart and all of your dreams have just evaporated, but trust me, you cannot believe how well things are going to turn out for you. Just listen to me, listen. No matter how many times you fall down, just keep getting back up. And those are the most important 4 words I could give you, FFA. Keep getting back up. I want to leave you with one more thing before I go. That's a little song I'm going to play for you on my ukulele. I will warn you, I'm not very musically inclined. Oh, thank you, Brennan. Appreciate it. Oh, hey, Boomtown. Booyah! Now, I wanted to let you guys know a couple things. Can I just say, I love FFA. You guys are so awesome. I got to be here 4 years ago, and it is such a pleasure to be back. And I would love to keep in touch with you online. So hit up my website. You see it up on the screen, weshouldhangoutsometime.com. You can hit it up on your computer when you get home or on your cell phone when you head back to the hotel tonight. On my website, you're going to find some free stuff you can download. You can get a free MP3 of the amputee rap. You can get an MP3 of the song I'm about to play for you. You can get a link to a video that answers the question, which I know is on your mind right now, which is, what do I do with my left shoes? Yes. You can also, enter in a contest on my website, weshouldhangoutsometime.com. The grand prize winner of this contest will win 2 free We Should Hang Out Sometime t-shirts, one for you, one for the person you're going to hang out with, obviously. And, true story, I will name a character after you in my next book. So you want to enter in this contest, hit it up, weshouldhangoutsometime.com. Now, one more announcement. I would love to meet you in person. I will be at the FFA Mall tomorrow morning from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. So come by. I would love to get a picture with you, get your chapter together or whatever, swing by. Now, I know the mall is very confusing. It's hard to find things. So I'm going to make an inflatable version of myself. It will be a one-legged balloon man, and he will be floating high above my booth. I'm serious. So come to... Come to the mall tomorrow between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. You'll see me, or you'll see the balloon version of me, and underneath will be me, and we can take a picture together. So, yeah, there's that. I'd like to dedicate this song to you guys because I love FFA. She was a good girl. She was in my math class. She had a great smile and a really nice laugh. She made me too nervous to talk, but she liked my natural pimp walk. On the golf course, she was looking so hot, so I hit a perfect shot. I was happy, I shouted with glee. But there was a malfunction in my artificial knee. And I was free, free falling. I was free, free falling. Hold on, I'm not done yet. It's not over. But if you have that like flashlight app on your phone and you want to wave it around, I'm cool with that. I wish the knee had not buckled out. That's probably why we never made out. I heard she got married. It was quite a shocker. I found out because I use Facebook to stalk her. The 2-liter was swinging, so I had to walk slow. But when I took the lid off, it erupted like a volcano. And the soda was free. Free falling. Well, this life is so very tough. Don't clap on this part. This part has no rhythm. Clap on the chorus. There's one more chorus coming up. So we had, this life is very tough. Sometimes I think I've had enough, but in those times I'm dutiful to remember life it's beautiful. Sing along. 'Cause I was free falling, I was free falling, free falling, falling, I was free falling, free falling. Thank you very much, National FFA! Thank you, guys. That's embarrassing. Thank you, guys.
Hey, he's a pretty cool guy, ain't he? Hey, we should probably hang out sometime, you reckon?
Well, you throwing a bunch of extra words at me.
You say, I reckon, yeah.
Yeah, but that was good because it was still an opinion statement, so I have to say yes.
Boomtown.
Boomtown!
Now, this is a yes or no question. Do I have your word that you will wear this tie the next time, and if you ever speak on this stage again?
I would be honored to be on this stage, and I'd be honored to wear this tie.
Let's give it up for Josh Turnquist.
Thank you, guys.